Well, welcome back all my Advanced Squad Leader friends out there. This is your host, ID Jester. It's been a couple weeks since I've had a chance to post a video. I've been out at Origins Game Fair here in Columbus, Ohio for a week. And then, ever since then, I've been fighting with my cable company about my crappy router that they refused to come out. I actually had an appointment set up. They called me back, said they found the reason it was going down. Some kind of static in the line, even though I had already talked to a different tech who said that the modem was resetting itself and needed to be replaced. So I've been fighting with them about this, and my internet connection keeps going down. So hopefully, eventually, I'll get this uploaded to you guys. This is just going to be kind of a shortish video on some corrections to our movement phase, defensive fire phase sequence that we went through in the last 4 or 5 videos. A couple things that I did wrong that some people had mentioned, and I wanted to let everyone know. Post a video on those so we can all be on the same page to make sure we all know the correct way to do things. Okay, so the first thing that someone had mentioned was when this heavy machine gun here, when the German unit was moving up into this location here, we ended up deciding, was trying to decide whether or not to create a fire lane or to do just a normal attack. And we ended up doing just a normal attack, hoping that he would keep his rate of fire. Unfortunately, I think we rolled like a 5-2 or 5-3 or 6-2, whatever it was. He didn't keep his rate of fire, and I ended up putting a 4 residual counter here, which was incorrect. The heavy machine gun, as you can see here, has 6 firepower. 6 firepower. If we look at our chart here, remember, if you're leaving regular residual firepower, you're going to get half your firepower rounded down. So half of 6 is 3. There is no 3 columns, so it should actually be a 2. Remember, if you're leaving a fire lane, it's different in that you only go to the column left of where your normal firepower is. So in this case, a firepower, if he would have left a fire lane there, he would get 4 residual for that fire lane. If he's just doing a normal attack, it's going to be 2 residual firepower. So wanted to make sure everybody understood that. Kind of did that wrong. So in essence, we need to decrease that down to 2. There should have been 2 residual in there. I'm not sure if anybody else ended up moving into that hex or not. I don't think it would have mattered, but the clarification, remember, fire lanes are going to be 1 column to the left. Regular residual firepower is going to be half your firepower, and of course, remember, you also have hindrances along the way that can affect your firepower column as well. So each hindrance along the way will cost you 1 column. Kind of hard to show you on this map because we don't have any hindrances, I don't think. So anyways, that was the first thing someone caught. Thanks a lot for catching that and letting me know and posting that. I was thinking we were going to do a residual, or we were going to do a fire lane, I was thinking, and so I'd already planned that before the recording. I kind of think about, okay, well, I'm going to move this unit here, and then this unit will do an attack, and then this guy will move up, and then this guy will do an attack, just to show different rules and kind of plan things ahead. And I originally had planned on putting a fire lane for this guy over this way. But then halfway through the episode, I was like, well, we already have a fire lane. Let's see if we can show what happens if they just heavy machine gun or medium machine gun does regular residual. And so it kind of threw me off there. Okay, so that was the first thing. Good catch out there. I forget your the person's name who had mentioned that to me, but congratulations. Thank you very much for keeping me on my toes. Again, I don't want to take a lot of time explaining things, but when you're trying to record and move units and think about what you're doing and everything, you can kind of forget about some of the rules some of the time. And in fact, I forgot about another rule here, which was caught. I think it was down here in either this hex K7 or this hex in K8. And basically what had happened was we ended up moving some units adjacent to this unit, and it was already had a final fire counter on it. So he decided to do final protective fire, and even if you have a final fire counter, you can continue firing at anybody that moves adjacent to you. But of course, it is considered a morale check against yourself as well. And I believe what ended up happening was this unit here moved into this hex. I believe it was this hex. Trying to remember if it was the situation down in these two hexes down here in J8 and K8, or if it was this hex in J6 when they moved adjacent with K7 there. And what ended up happening was we did a final protective fire attack, and we ended up rolling, I think it was 5 and a 2. I'm just going to put that up here in our little chat box. So we had like a 5 and a 2. No, it was actually, I think it was a 5 and a 3 is what ended up happening. Put that in the chat box. So we ended up having an 8 attack, and then we got a -1 for the non-assault move, and we also got -1 to the attack for not moving in the open. And so the final attack ended up being a 6 on the 2 column. I think it was a 6 on the 2 column, which was a pin-task check, I believe, is what ended up happening. But when we did the results, the morale check against the unit, I actually took the -2 for the non-assault move and the move in the open bonuses and applied that, so it was an 8. I made it a 6, and you can see clearly this unit has a morale of 7. So he at the time everything was okay, and he didn't end up breaking. Okay, sorry about that. And so what ended up happening was this unit here with the -2 to his 8 attack ended up passing his morale check. When you do final protective fire, the only bonuses you would get whatsoever is any kind of leadership modifier that's going to apply. You don't get any terrain motive, you don't get any terrain modifiers, you certainly don't get any modifiers for like -1 for shooting in the open or for non-assault move. Those modifiers obviously don't apply to your own morale check. So when you roll a final protective fire attack, and like I said, I think he rolled a 5-3 or 5-2, whatever it was, it ended up should have broken this unit here. So just wanted to clarify that. Again, a really good catch by somebody out there. Wasn't really thinking about it. I just, okay, it's a 6 attack here. Oh, 6 is the pass on a rail. Didn't really dawn on me where the modifiers were coming from. I was thinking he rolled a 6, but it was definitely, I believe it was an 8 he rolled. And so, again, just to clarify the rule, final protective fire, you're already marked with a final fire counter. Unit moves adjacent to you. You have the opportunity to do a final protective fire, which is basically going to be another attack, but whatever you roll will also be a morale check on yourself. So in this case, if this unit was, you can see his morale is 7, so chances are if he's going to do a final protective fire, he's going to have to resist that morale check dice roll. He's going to really have to roll low so that he doesn't become broken. And then in some situations, like I mentioned, it might actually be better to risk that and become broken, because then if you have a clear way to route away, you can do this. So that would end up being good if you have a clear way to route. So in this case, if this guy does fail his check, let's say he rolls a 4-4 and ends up breaking, he could route into this hex and then back into this hex, kind of get away from all these units, which they know are going to be coming in. They're going to be assault moving in there. They're going to be, well, we're going to be advanced firing, and then once the advanced fire phase is over, then if this unit's not broken, he's not going to get the chance to route. And then in the advanced phase, this full squad's going to move in there and start a close combat with them. So in this case, it might be better to say, okay, I'm willing to risk the die roll, because if I become broken, I could try to route away from that unit. Maybe I can route into a hex like this hex right here that has a leader in it, so I can then try to rally when the next turn comes up. So a couple things I missed. Not too bad, because we spent, I think, 4, maybe 5 videos doing just the movement phase and defensive fire phases. A close example, I think we got just about all the other roles right. We got all the other modifiers right. I tried to show you some of the different examples you can run into. We talked a little bit about strategy and what to do and what to think about when you're moving your guys around, what the best opportunities for your attacks are. If you're the attacker, how you're going to use your half squads if you can to get into position, to use up those defensive fire attacks, make them use their residual in spaces you're not planning on going into, and then moving up your full squads into locations that are going to be able to advance into and close combat your enemies if you need to take a certain location. Defensively, we talked about fire lanes and the importance of fire lanes. Having your heavy machine guns, medium machine guns at the same level as the terrain obviously is important for creating fire lanes. As I mentioned, if this unit was up in the second story, he would not have been able to create this fire lane, and you can see how powerful that fire lane is. Just a 4 attack anybody that goes in there, and in fact if they go into this hex L5, it is going to be an 8 firepower attack, because it is doubled because it's adjacent to the unit that has set up the fire lane. So that's it. That's the movement phase and the defensive fire phase. I just wanted to get some corrections out there, make sure everybody understands what should have happened and what we did wrong. So if you're reviewing these other ones and you were thinking, well, I don't understand, they did this doesn't make sense, he should have broken, and now you know you were correct. So again, if anybody sees anything when we're going through these videos, if I missed or any questions you have, be sure to leave a thought, comments below in the YouTube channel, and I will definitely reply back. And if it's something that I feel that needs to be corrected, for sure I will post another video. And again, I appreciate the individuals who gave me that information and spent the time to review things and bring that to my attention. So great job there. Alright folks, well, we're going to keep this under 15 minutes because this is a 15-minute rule set. I think we're going to be moving on. I think we pretty much covered all of our squad-based things. I think we will be coming up on some terrain, section B of the rule book, and talk about some different terrain modifiers and things. And we'll go from there. I'm not sure if anybody needs any more information on infantry, section A of the rule book. If there is something you want covered, be sure to leave your thoughts, your comments. If you want to see something covered, I've mentioned this in a couple of my other episodes, but I will not be doing OBA, so do not post and say, please do OBA. OBA is the worst possible format whatsoever for ASL, so I don't use it. I don't use scenarios with it. I understand it. It's just, it would take me 20 episodes to try and explain it to people. So I'm not sure I want to do that right now, but if there's something else you think of that you want to see, some rules clarifications, or I did a couple series so far. We've talked about snipers and bypass, but I don't think I've done that in this series. So if there's something you're looking for, be sure to leave a thought and comment, and we will definitely be doing these videos. So let me know, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, folks.